Here she comes. Hey, Lien.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. It was a great introduction. So they will all already figure out the QR code, I guess. It's important to scroll down to that page, and it could be improved by the design on smartphones could be improved. So every suggestion later on in the event, we can use that. So yeah, thank you, UX Antwerp, for having me. We are super happy that you are wanting to do this charity event for Hack Your Future. So what I will be doing today, right now, is explain what Hack Your Future is about and what we aim for. So let me share my screen. And you should now all be seeing it. Yes, okay, nice that works from the first time. So Hack Your Future Belgium, we are a coding school for refugees and newcomers. Our mission is to help new talent into the tech world. And we focus on refugees and also people we call disadvantaged, so with a certain distance to the mainstream education and the labor market. Our baseline is helping new talent into the tech world because we don't like to put the emphasis on the backgrounds of our students, but we like to help them and empower them to look forward and to hack their future. What it means in practice, we offer a free 8-month training in coding and coding software and tools, where we also refund their train tickets to come to Brussels in non-COVID times. And we also provide them with laptops if they don't have their own. Classes take place on Sundays in non-COVID times in Brussels. And from now, since March, it's all online happening. And we teach in English, and the teachers are actually all volunteers. Our students need to study at least 25 hours a week on their own and doing group works. And very important, our training is 100% in English because it's the key language in the IT world, but also because we don't want to put our students in pause while they are, for example, learning Dutch or French. We are also teaching on Sunday to allow students to combine our program with a language course or integration course. We believe Hack Your Future creates a win-win situation. On the one hand, we have the students who sometimes have difficulties, or in our case, they all have difficulties to find a job. And they also would like to integrate through work because we believe that work is a facilitator to integration. On the other hand, we have the labor market, which is increasingly looking for web developers, and there's a shortage of web developers. But there's also the increasing consciousness on the need for diversity in companies. And we believe that we can build the bridge between those two parts. Let me take you back to 2015, when there was the huge refugee crisis, and when there was a bunch of friends in Amsterdam who founded Hack Your Future. And then 3 years after, in May 2018, we started our own chapter in Brussels for people living in Belgium. There's also chapters currently active in Copenhagen, in London, in Athens, and in Toronto. Some of them have different names because hack is not always the most easy name to use. So there's also Code Academy, and Code Your Future also exists. This is thanks to the 100% open curriculum, but I'll refer to that later in the presentation. This is our team. Oh, Yeah, that's loading. We're a small team, but behind us there is a bunch and a whole community of volunteers. Let me take you to the full ecosystem around HackYourFuture and our key factors to success. So there's the small coordination team, but then there are many partners, and there are also companies who believe in our story and who also give opportunities for internships and first jobs for our graduates. And then, of course, the key factors are our students, our volunteers, and our curriculum, and then those companies. Let me start with the students. We work in classes of 15 students each class. Now in online teaching times, we're combining 2 classes at the same time to have even more impact. We have currently 46 students active, and 79 already graduated since the start in May 2018. Here you can see that we call it an 8-month program. In 2018, it started as a 6-month program, but we're constantly improving our curriculum. We have a great educational director who is, his life is basically improving the curriculum of HackYourFuture. And we are very happy that since September, we have a module on UX design. So it was also thanks to one of the UX Antwerp members that we created this. So thank you, community. Our mission is working because 60% of our students find an internship or job 3 months after graduation, and 85% finds a job after between 3 and 6 months. So they need a little bit more time, but that's also very understandable because there are many other barriers, like the cultural barriers, but also, yeah, the personal lives of our students. As newcomers in Belgium, they need to be a bit stable before finding that first opportunity. Who are our students? They come from many different countries, so more than 30 nationalities among our 187 students who started since the beginning of HackYourFuture Belgium. This is the map of only our last class, so the last onboarded 30 students, so that's only a small part of it. How we recruit our students, we don't have a lot of requirements. It's basically motivation is the most important factor. Then they need an intermediate level of English, and they need to have the stable environment to be able to study at least 25, but even 30 hours a week. Our application process is like this. So they apply through our website, then they receive a technical assignment, and the highest scoring students or applicants on that technical assignment, they get an interview with me in which I assess their motivation, their level of English speaking, and also how, just like I said, their availability to study at least 25 hours a week. Diversity and inclusion are at the core of what we do. That's why we focus a lot on soft skills next to the technical skills in our curriculum, because we know that the tech world should become more diverse, but it's also very international sector. So it's important to communicate a lot, and also with many different people, sometimes and even more often, and 100% right now remote. So we focus a lot on communication and also on that community and capacity building, because all those people are new in Belgium and they need to learn, for example, how to write a Belgian CV, which is different from a Turkish CV, and things like that. We're a growing community, of which 75% are refugees, 25% are newcomers with other backgrounds, all living in Belgium, and 37% of them are women, which we are very proud of because the average in IT is only 16%. And our community is growing because alumni keep on turning back to the community to give back what they've been given to. Talking about giving back, the center of our organization are our volunteers, which are putting into place the curriculum and who are actually teaching the curriculum to the students. So there are voluntary coaches who are experts in their domain and have many years of experience in IT sector or as freelancers. They are responsible for one module, so our curriculum is built into 14 modules by now, with the UX module included. And each coach is responsible for one of that modules. There is, of course, the supervision of our educational director. And there's also assistant coaches who help around on Sundays, but who are also available on Slack for questions. Slack is our main communication channel with the students, so they can ask all their questions to coaches over the week. There is, for example, a Wednesday check-in session in which coaches do Q&A sessions with the students on the content they need to learn for the next Sunday, as we teach on Sundays. We also have mentors, volunteer mentors with experience in the HR sector, who help to empower our people and who guide them after graduation towards a first internship or job. We do a mentorship journey, which is basically job coaching. This is annoying that the pictures are not loading, but I'm sorry for that. The job coaching includes feedback on CV and LinkedIn profiles, and also feedback on cover letters. As I just said, it's according to cultural costumes, and sometimes they need to learn how to basically brag about their skills. It's also about mock interviews with the mentees, but most of all, it's about giving or increasing the self-esteem of our students. They have been through a lot of, let's say, challenges before ending up at HackYourFuture, and that's a great accomplishment, and they do not always realize. So our mentors are also there to help them gaining self-esteem and being proud of where they got. I told it before, but HackYourFuture curriculum is 100% open, and we like to emphasize it because we are part of the Open Knowledge Belgium umbrella organization, which is promoting and advocating for open data and open source projects in Belgium. Then last but not least, the factor to success are, of course, companies, because it doesn't make sense to train people if afterwards they cannot find a job in that sector that they're trained for. That's why we do an intensive program of 4 weeks after the graduation of our students. We do this 3 times a year, and it's called the Open Innovation Bootcamp. It is about open source projects with a positive social impact, and in which students learn how to relate with a real client and a real partner, how to pitch, how to present, and the bootcamp serves as a first kind of internship for them, in which they will present their prototype to the challenge they get from a client. And in that way, they connect with different companies, because we normally, in non-COVID times, we organize open demo day events in which companies can come and scout for newly graduates. This is how the rough timeline of our Open Innovation Bootcamp. So in the first week, they explore, then they build prototypes, and then they start really building in the 3rd week. And in the 4th week, we emphasize, we put the emphasis on presenting their prototype and inviting people and like the speaking and showing and pitching part of the project. And then there's actually, this is my own addition to our official presentation, but the fourth key factor to success, which is secret, is actually our community. And I put in a quote here from one of our students saying, HackYourFuture is like a family to me more than a school. And it's basically what we feel even in remote times, that people want to give back what they've been receiving from the community. And that's why we are, let's say, self-sustainable. So it's all about that community feeling and having the feeling that they are being part of people in the same situation with the same dream to become web developers. So that's why we want to, or we aim for 60 students to be trained in 2021 to become software developers and find a job in the Belgian IT sector. And so maybe now you are asking yourself, okay, and what does it do? Does it have to do with UX Antwerp, apart from the fact that there is a module that we're teaching them? But as you are a strong community, and as you come from all over the place, maybe you are working for a company that might want to partner with us, please let me know, contact us. You have the QR code now to our website, so let's take advantage of it. And if you're not in that situation, or if you're a freelancer, something that everyone can do, even tonight, is become a fan of HackYourFuture on our social media channels. Here they are. I warmly invite you to become a fan of our community. And I would like to thank you for your attention. It's a bit weird. I cannot see you, so I'm looking forward to questions in the Q&A session. And thank you once again for listening and looking at me, and for having me, UX Antwerp, and especially for dedicating your charity to our mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lien. That was a really, really great overview and lots of insights into how your organization works. And I think we have so much to be thankful for HackYourFuture. I mean, I think that in the UX world, we've seen so many examples where we've learned that diversity is essential to design and UX. So I just want to thank you not only for helping out and creating new opportunities for your students, but also for helping to enrich the design community with new perspectives and new voices. I think that's so important. And I very much hope to work with one of your graduates someday. I have just a couple of questions. So you mentioned, yeah, you're mainly working on the dev side, but do you have plans to also expand into the design and UX? Is that something that your students are already asking for, or that you're already thinking about offering in the future?
Well, we started with that module. It's for now only 1 week, but we started it because students were asking for it. Because of the Open Innovation Bootcamp, they realized that they were lacking the presentation skills, and they wanted to show something, because most of the time they were only like going through the code with the audience, but that's really boring when you don't know about code. So they really asked for it, and that's when we reached out to Nadia, who is part of your of the UX Antwerp community. And so she started her first week of UX UI, and we put that in the very early in our curriculum to allow our students to reflect on, okay, is this something I would like to do? And we try to lead and guide them towards self-study UX UI tools and videos. And we would like to expand that module to a full module of 3 weeks. But this was a trial. It was very successful. They're all using Figma now. over the time of the course. So that's also why we put it in the beginning of the curriculum.
Nice.
So the ones who want to elaborate it, they can already, but we're planning on finding some great UX designers who would like to become volunteers, actually.
Fantastic. And you can always send them to our community as well. Yeah, no, that's great, because my other question obviously was, we recognize that a lot of people have been affected by COVID and lockdown and tightening up on budgets and contracts this year. So while we're hoping that people can donate and support your community that way, are there other ways where UX professionals might get involved as a volunteer or an instructor, and how might we do that, if that's a better way to help?
Yeah, so it could work. So we work in two ways with volunteers. We need volunteers for our core curriculum, but then according to the expectations or the mission of that volunteer or preferences, we can always build something. I can give an example. Last week I met a new mentor, and she is going to give a talk about how to use LinkedIn as a slow professional tool. Slow in the sense that you need to be there all the time, and that it's not something that you can use for 1 week and you will find your job. So that was because she preferred starting giving that talk and then see how her voluntary involvement would improve over time.
Okay.
But so, for example, we could do master classes about UX UI. That's something we are thinking of, because we always tend to expand curriculum, but we don't want it to become a 1-year program, because students apply because it's a short-term program.
True.
So we want to build more alumni events and more master classes for people who are interested, but not as mandatory part of the curriculum.
That makes sense. Keep it a little bit more modular. Yeah,
exactly.
And they can make their own choices. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to mention that Lien is on our Slack channel. So if you do want to follow up with her about volunteer opportunities or master classes or any other way to get involved, you can find her there. And yes. And I also, I got a couple of reports. It worked for me, but for some people, the QR code might have not worked. Or if you missed it in our slides, just make sure to visit HackYourFuture.be. All the information is there, I'm sure, about volunteering as well, but also how to donate to the cause. And again, UX Antwerp will match all of your donations up to 1,500 euros. And we'll put you, if you make sure to write UX Antwerp or UX Beers in your donation form, then you'll be entered for the raffle. So thanks again, Lien. It was so nice to meet you, and I'm really happy that we're working with you on this event. And we will check back in with the community in December and keep you guys updated on how much we've raised and when we'll do the raffle for the prizes.
All
right. So thanks again. And I'm going to excuse the audience to either take a quick break or to visit our sessions. You can talk to Lien. She'll have her own Q&A session where you can speak to her directly, or find one of the rest of us in one of the other sessions as well, or try out the networking. And we will be back here at 8 o'clock for our next speaker, who is going to talk about designing during COVID. Her name's Cindy. So see you again at 8, and thanks again. Bye-bye.